Hello everybody and welcome back to FX Street. My name is Akash and today we're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin and discuss what's happening with it. But before we get into any technicals, please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell icon so you don't miss out on any videos that we produce. Right? You can give us a follow on Twitter at FXS Crypto, and if you enjoy the content that I put out, make sure to give me a follow as well at Mangyako with the 0 at the end. Right, so let's get into Bitcoin. There's quite a few things happening in the ecosystem right now. But what's happening with Bitcoin is really interesting, especially what happened over the last 24 hours. Right. So as you can see on a 4-hour time frame, Bitcoin price saw a massive explosion of buying pressure, which pushed it up by roughly 5%, 4%, and now the price is trying to play catch up. Right. The ideal target, in my opinion, is the June 18th low at 17,593. That's where I am hoping to book profits at. Apart from that, we also have the 19,235 level, which is the volume point of control for 2022. What it means is that this is the highest volume. This level is where the highest volume for 2022 was traded. So that makes it an extremely important level to look out for. As you can see here, I did open a long position last night after we saw this run on the previous lows, right? And the fact that it also bounced off of the midpoint of this particular run up made it much more likely that the price was going to reverse here, right? And to kind of add more credence to my outlook, right? I was also observing this particular setup for Bitcoin, right? An inverted head and shoulders pattern happening here on a 4-hour time frame. I pointed this out on my Twitter quite like a few days ago, right? That was on November 25th, where I expected the price to form a small right shoulder, but I also anticipated that it could come all the way down to 15.9K or roughly 16K. Right, and as you can see here, it did come down to 15,937 level here, very close, and reverse from here. Right, so yesterday's move basically broke out of the neckline, broke above the neckline, and now all that's left is for bulls to sustain the momentum and reach their target of 17.6K. Right, so all of this combined kind of made me feel like we could potentially break out here, which is why I opened a long position here. So for now, things are looking pretty good. I'm not worried about Bitcoin price from a short-term perspective. But a long-term perspective is also something really interesting, and this particular move that they've seen here could be the start of something big for Bitcoin. So let's head on over to a long-term outlook to see what's happening with Bitcoin. So we're currently on a 3-day time frame, right? You can see. Okay, let's go over to this chart because it's a little clearer, right? So I have this falling wedge that I've marked out on the 3-day time frame, which extends all the way up to July 18th, right? July 18, 2021. Since then, the price has produced 1, 2 lower lows and 1, 2. Okay, hold up. 1, 2, and 3 taps to the lower trend line and 2 taps to the upper trend line. Right, so this is theoretically speaking, it is a sound pattern. So basically, this particular pattern forecasts a 55% upswing, which puts the target at 32.1K. But let's ignore this pattern for a second, right? Let's, excuse me, let's forget about it for a second. But observe the lower low that was formed between 15 June to all the way up to the recent one, November 22nd is when we crashed, right? 15 June to November 22nd is the price action between these two dates is extremely important because here price produced lower low, but the RSI produced higher low. This indicates that the momentum was rising, but was not reflected in the price, and hence it is called as a bullish divergence. So this indicates that a trend reversal is likely. And the fact that we've seen this happen for over 5 months makes it all the more likely that the explosion that's going to erupt from this particular divergence is going to be volatile. But as for the targets, right, You can see that again, I've used the volume profile here extending starting from Jan 1st to 30th November. That's where we are today. Right, you can see that there's this red line here that comes up at 19,235, which is what is known as the POC, or the point of control. As I explained a few seconds ago, that is the highest volume traded for Bitcoin in 2022. So in a way, the 19K, 19.2K seems primed. Like it is going to happen. There's no doubt about it. So 19.2K is something that I've been expecting for quite some time, at least since I spotted this divergence, I think after June 18 crash, right? Although the falling wedge thing happened 2 weeks ago. So for now, 19.2K seems like a pretty good target. But if we flip 19K, there's this area where it could chop around quite a bit. That extends from 20K to 19K. So basically, as the quicker we move above 20K and flip it into support floor, the quicker the directional bias for Bitcoin becomes clear. Right. So if Bitcoin price manages to flip 20K into support floor, then there's a good chance it will contest this upper trend line. Now it could even form a third tap, considering how we've rejected from this level here, right? And this is an extremely highly bullish case, and I'm not saying it will happen, but hypothetically speaking, if it did happen, if Bitcoin price does produce a decisive close above this declining trend line here, I'm not sure where it could happen. It could, depending on the price action, right, it could slowly proceed, and it could be up to 6th Feb before we get there, right? So there could be a lot of chop in between 19K and 20K. So it's unlikely that the breakout above excuse me, that the breakout above this declining trend line will happen somewhere in Jan. But if I'm expecting the breakout around 20.5K, which will be somewhere around here, so something like this, a little bit of chop here, and then another push, and then we finally break above this trend line. Right, this is what I'm expecting for Bitcoin. And if we do get a move above this trend line, then there's a pretty good chance we could kickstart a 55% upswing to 32K. Now, for now, what I'm expecting is a push up to 20K, 19K. That is doable, right? I'm not saying it's not going to happen. There's a pretty good chance that it does play out. But the 32K scenario is a little not set in stone for now, at least in my opinion. We need to wait and see how things proceed from here. So that is all I have for Bitcoin today. If you enjoyed this analysis, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.